did a great job, got the steal. He shoots a tough floater. And I thought our next 3 possessions were really tough. We shot some tough twos. The last, like after Keon shot a tough two. And, you know, those 2 instances versus a really good team were the difference in the ball game. You know, against a good team, you have to be methodical with your approach. Not in terms of we want to play fast. I'm okay playing fast, but when I say methodical with your approach is you're not going to put a good team away by taking tough twos, especially late in the ball game, or gambling at any time because they'll make you pay. And you know, I thought in the second half, their ability to up their aggressiveness defensively and put some pressure on us, funneling us to Rudy, making us shoot the tough twos in the paint over Rudy instead of playing off a 2 and spraying it and keep the ball moving. I thought that was the biggest difference in the second half, especially after they cut our lead from 10 or 11 or whatever it was to 3 or 4. But I saw a lot of good things from our guys throughout the course of the game. Again, it's about us staying disciplined enough to play possession after possession after possession the right way. And I got to give Julius credit. I mean, he shot the mess out of the ball tonight from the 3. He's 5 for 6. I thought our guys did a decent job guarding the 3. And if Julius goes 5 for 6, that's tough. Between him and Naz Reid, they're at 9 for 16 from the 3-point line, and a couple of those were wide open. But that's going to happen throughout the course of the game. But a couple that he made, they were tough step back contested threes, which is what we'll live with, especially with the size of this team, and this team only getting 32 points in the paint.
Mike, just what did you think of that final possession? Obviously, you trusted DeMar to make that play to get it inbounds, just from your vantage point.
Yeah, and it's great for us. We've gone over the play a couple of times. I think you all saw Keegan was wide open. There was just DeMar has a series of reads, and by the time, and it's a little new for him because we've gone over it. We haven't really necessarily done it. I think we've done it live, did it live once, but we've walked through it a ton. And so when it's live, especially with no timeouts, you're trying to look at every read. And I think if he could have, if we all had a better feel on it, and there was a little zip on the ball, I think Keegan would have got a clean look from the 3-point line. But it was lobbed a little bit, which allowed, I think, Naz Reid to recover. He took one side dribble. And maybe Ant, I think, went over there. He was smart. He knows 2 seconds you're not going to be able to move the ball, especially after taking a side dribble, and so he contested it too. So decent look for us running it the first time live, and I think we'll be better in that situation. But great job getting guys open, because Malik was open too for, I think, a split second. Yeah.
What did you think of the defense he did against Rudy up until that point? Because Rudy was really not a factor at all for them.
Yeah, it was tough, and we keep talking to Domas. He's got on Rudy, on the foul that he got with Rudy, he led with his hands, and a guy like Rudy, we just wall up. There's no reason to lead with your hands, especially with Rudy being off balance, and. So that's a tough call. And then, I thought Domas did a great job going vertical, and Ant would have had to make a tough shot, but he came across his body. And again, we keep talking to our guys about leading with your chest, leading with your chest, leading with your chest. If they make the shot, you just live with it. And so Domas, he's going to be better, but 2 tough fouls that where they scored 4 points from the free throw line in the last couple of minutes that helped them, stay in the game and/or get the lead. But I thought overall Domas played a really, really good game. had him in a lot of different coverages, and he was doing a great job in the pick and roll coverage. He also did a good job of trying to rebound and boxing guys out, and a great learning experience for our group. But like I said, I thought we played a pretty good basketball for most of the game.
Mike, stylistically, this team often has, done a lot of DHO with Domas and shot a ton of threes tonight. Seemed like a lot more mid-range game, getting to the free throw line a lot more. Is that stylistic change? Is that something that you guys are trying to do intentionally? Or are you guys going to try to incorporate what we're used to seeing with all those threes in the DHO game we're used to?
Now, maybe not we may not run as much DHO because, you got a guy like DeMar, and shoot, it's great to have the ball in his hands. It's great to have the ball in Leak's hands. It's great to have the ball in Fox's hands. So you have another guy that, commands to touch the ball a little bit more. And you could see DeMar had some pretty good looks, especially early on, that he turned down. His game is the mid-range. He's an elite mid-range guy, and so he's going to take a lot of shots, and that's going to probably take away from the three some, which I'm okay with. Where I think we could be better is we went through stretches, especially, like I said, after with Keon's floater, and then the next three possessions after it, where we had an opportunity to touch the paint and spray it, but we shot tough twos over Rudy. And, you got a guy as big and long as Rudy, that makes it really, really, really hard to score. So I thought there were opportunities for us to spray the ball. So not necessarily from a DHO standpoint, but there were opportunities for us to touch the paint and spray the ball probably 5 to 6 more times than what we did tonight, and that's where the 35-plus threes would have come from, in my opinion.
22 points off, 17 Minnesota turnovers. Just what do you think of your defense as a whole, the physicality, and keeping the other team out the paint?
I thought we did a pretty good job with it. I got to give Randall. Randall was 13 for 17 overall. That's freaking phenomenal, And I thought he hit some tough shots, Like I said, Ant's he's gonna score, and I'm okay if he's gonna take 24 shots, and score what he did. You hope that he doesn't score that many, but he's talented. He is who he is, and Randall is too. Randall's going to score, but for him to go 5 or 6 from the 3-point line, that's a little tough for us to swallow. And so I thought defensively, for the most part, we were pretty good. We just have to continue, to lean with our chest and staying solid while trying to be physical. And if we do, we're going to have a lot of real good results.
Mike, how much better did this look and feel to you than what you saw in the preseason, and how good were the last couple of days of practice, having the full complement of players where maybe you can raise the level of competition and maybe intensity too in the practice gym?
Like the preseason is tough. We went 5-0. I think my first year in the preseason, I think we lost our first 4 games or whatever. Last year I think we went 1-4 in the preseason. So, especially with all the injuries we have, I'm not too concerned about the preseason. I'm looking at different things. I'm trying different combinations, especially with the injuries and having a new guy like DeMar, who's going to get a lot of opportunities to play with the ball in his hands, and then trying to incorporate him with what we're trying to do defensively. So, I understand that there was probably some panic in the preseason because we didn't win a game. I completely respect that, but for me, I was okay with the preseason because of the things that I just said. I thought tonight we played a pretty good game, but the good part about it is I believe we could play better. And that's what's exciting to me, is that we can play better than what we did. Now, having said all that, you could see just by the minutes that I'm still not comfortable with my rotation. I don't want DeMar to average 43 minutes a game. I don't want Keegan to average 43 minutes a game. And so that's something that I have to continue working on to help them out. I also don't want Domas at 38, and I don't want Fox at 37. So again, that's something that I have to continue working on with the group to figure out what's going to be good for us rotationally going forward, and it may take some time.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Locker room's open. You want to leave? Want to hustle? We got Jamar coming up to the podium. Just kidding, Domas.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Domas, just, I guess, your overall thoughts of that one tonight, seeing that go down the way it did.
I think we did a lot of good things for the first time playing together, with Kev back, Trey back, and getting full minutes. But we had a little lapse there in the third quarter. We were up by 10 or 11. That's where I feel like we should have put them away.
Yeah, is that when you guys went kind of cold there too? Looks like shots weren't falling. They stormed back the way they did. Is that hard for this team to have lulls like that offensively?
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, we were up by 11, and I don't know, they made 2 threes back to back or something like that. So it's ball game. They're all excited, and now it's back to square one.
Domas, you guys are still trying to learn each other. Just how difficult is it? I mean, you've been in the league for a long time, so you know sort of how to build up a team, but how difficult is it to add pieces so late in training camp?
It just takes some time getting used to, we've been playing with DeMar, but, we haven't been playing with Kev or with Trey, and then it just changes the lineup. Keon goes back to the second unit, so obviously there's some adjustment there, but we just got to figure it out quicker, you know what I mean? We all know how to play basketball, so we just got to go out there and do our job.
Domas, going back to the third quarter, you said put them away. What, in your mind, does that look like? Is it scoring more baskets? What is it?
Just either keep that little 10-point deficit, around there, or keep playing hard, not just let it disappear in 3-4 offenses.
And then 3 20-point scores for you guys tonight. Basketball was moving. I know Fox had 11 assists as well. Just how comfortable do you feel with anybody's ability to get their shots and get their looks and score?
It's great. Everyone's moving the ball. The guys are making their shots. I think we shot better than preseason today, and we just got to keep building on that.
Dearney, Domas, you've alluded to it a little bit, but with the stylistic difference in adding DeMar to this team and what he does in the mid-range, just how would you gauge where you guys are at in terms of your comfortability with him specifically, given that you guys have, done a lot of DHO stuff and shot a lot of threes in the past?
We're good. I think we're all playing our same way, and then when he gets the ball, he goes and gets a bucket. There was a moment there where we couldn't score. He went to his mid-range game and scored a couple big baskets for us to break.
Domas, how would you rate the ending of the game, the last 2 minutes, and how you guys played and who took the final shots and how that all went down?
I think we did pretty good. We were up and down there. We put ourselves in a position with the last 2 possessions in our hands. I made a foul there, I shouldn't have, and kind of put that on myself.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Domas.
Thank you.
We have DeMar coming.
Thank you.
Hey, DeMar. Just how comfortable do you feel you were? I mean, to be in that position to, inbound the ball, try to make a play there at the game on the line like that.
I felt good. It's comfortable. Just going on my reads, understanding what was going to be open. Got a good look. Even with a double clutch, we're in and out.
I mean, Domas obviously talked about just the way that third quarter ended and when they got back into it. Do you feel like you guys are able to sustain a game if you go cold like that on the offensive end?
Yeah, it's first game. It's a great learning experience, because that lapse in that game, I think that's what, made it tough on us. I felt like the whole game up to that point, we had the whole game in control. We played well, we defended well. They only hurt us when we hurt ourselves and gave them open shots. But, as long as we limit that moment, that stretch that we had in the third quarter, we pull out a victory, but like I said, it's a great learning experience.
I know the result is not what you guys want, but the reception you got tonight from the fans and just the environment of being inside of Golden One, just what was like that?
It's amazing, man. I always say to still be playing in this league as long as I've been playing in this league and still be appreciated, still wanted by the fans and still be able to perform at a high level. I don't take none of these moments for granted at all. We only get a certain amount of time to play this game, and we all want to be loved and appreciated for what we do on the court. So that was great.
Obviously, the first game, and you mentioned it being a learning experience. Just stylistically, how would you gauge where you guys are at with what you'd like to do, joining a team that shoots a lot of threes, does a lot of DHO stuff? Where are you guys at in that process?
I think, we was rusty with a lot of things, but the effort was there. We competed, we moved the ball. Once we get that rhythm with one another, I think everything fit in perfectly. Understanding what guys like the ball, get to their spots, everything, but for the most part, I'm happy how aggressive we was, how we competed, and it just sucks we didn't get the victory.
DeMar, you've been learning, to play with a new group. They're learning to play with you, and now in a sense you're kind of doing it again with Kev and Trey coming into the mix. What's that? Can you just talk a little bit about that? Whether that has that been difficult? Is it maybe going to be?
I think the most difficult part is helping them get their rhythm because they haven't been able to do training camp with us. They miss preseason. And when you miss a lot of little things like that, it's tougher to get rhythms going for them. So I think that's the tough part. Once they rhythm get going, it's going to be a lot easier on us all.
I guess kind of along those lines, DeMar, obviously it's early. Mike just told us he's still trying to figure out some of the rotations and different lineups. But he specifically said he isn't comfortable with playing you and De'Aaron as many minutes as you did tonight. But how did you just feel with some of the different lineups and rotations tonight?
I felt great. I felt fine. When I'm out there, I just like to play more than anything. Be competitive, but incorporating two guys in, that haven't, played preseason, like I said, it's tough, but once we get the rhythm of everything, we're going to be fine.
DeMar, you've been on some really good teams over the course of your career, but having, I guess, a unique group like this where you can have 3 20-point scores, Fox can have an 11-assist night, how big of a difference is that with anything you've experienced before in your career?
Man, it's amazing. How dynamic this team is incredible. I got the utmost confidence in this group of guys. Once we get a rhythm, a feel, and we're going to continue to get better with it every single day. But, this team is extremely dynamic, what we able to do on both ends. And, like I said, once that rhythm comes, it's definitely going to be scary.
DeMar, Julius obviously had it rolling tonight, and, you and Keegan took turns, but you kind of took the bulk of guarding them. Was that in the game plan, or was
Yeah. That was my matchup. Give it credit. Julius a hell of a player. He's an all-star, high-caliber player. And tonight was the night. We tried to make it tough on Ant. He went 10 for 24. I think we thought we did a great job, but, guys in this league extremely relentless and, talented. Julius had it going tonight, and we still gave ourselves a chance to win the ball game. It just works out that way.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, tomorrow.
Appreciate it.